Good evening, everybody. You're very welcome along to round number 3 of the April Isolation Dallara F3 Championship live from the GP circuit at Silverstone here in the UK. We've had 2 action-packed rounds from Barber and from Spa-Francorchamps, and we're looking to increase that action even more on a classic circuit at Silverstone here in the UK. Dane Baird alongside me in the commentary box. Simon Dakuma working on cameras. Dane, of course, you're very familiar with this kind of area. What sort of challenges can we expect around this circuit?
Definitely Cops, which is probably not the most challenging circuit on the, or challenging corner on the circuit, should I say. But the exit is very difficult. It's very easy to run wide and get yourself a slowdown penalty, and that's not what the drivers are going to want to do today. They've got very short races in this championship, so it's going to be crucial for them. Maggots and Beckett's, obviously everyone knows Maggots and Beckett's is one of the most iconic corner complexes in all of motorsport, and the chicane down into Club Corner at the end of that's always a tricky one for the drivers.
Yeah, of course. So this was the host, if we remember back to 1950, the very first F1 race was held here around this classic circuit. As we look at Ramez Azam, who didn't have the best of rounds last time out in Barber Motorsport Park. He's now 3rd in the championship. Mohamed Ibrahim is your championship leader at this point, with Sasha Fenestres in 2nd place in the championship after his win last week. But Ramez looking for a better time this time as he drops it on the exit of Stowe Corner there, which is very easy to do. Of course, Dane, the tyres are so crucial to get up to temperature, especially in a single-seater car.
Yeah, obviously with the new tyre model version 7 on these cars, it's pretty crucial, like you said, to get these tyres warmed up. You've got very little grip in the Dallara F3 car on the slick tyres. When they're cold, you're going to have a horrid time. But he's starting his first lap now, I'd assume, with only 2 minutes on the clock in qualifying. And he's going to hopefully have warmed up his tyres enough. But that exit out of Stowe says otherwise.
Look at him as he comes up through the newest part of the circuit, the latest addition to the circuit, as he comes through turn 3 now, heading into this little short section. We would have, in the national circuit, you dive off to the right hand side onto the hanger straight, but he's heading down towards Brooklands now, this first long straight where we'll see probably some brilliant overtaking as he heads down towards Brooklands, named by the little building on the right hand side, and then into Brooklands he comes, then down the gears in towards Luffield Corner, down to 3rd gear, down to 2nd for this next one, and this extremely fast section as he comes down towards Cops Corner, the most arguably the most famous sequence right here. And you can cut that inside chicane, the inside right a little bit there as he comes towards Cops now, surging in at 230 k's, throws it in right there. Be careful not to run out too wide, you will get a 1x, and then through the glorious Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel. Let's just watch Ramez Azam as he comes through here. Beautifully done, just draining off speed there. Down the hanger straight he'll come then. It used to be an old airfield with Silverstone back a long time ago, but down the hanger straight he comes towards Cops Corner, where Stowe Corner, where he dropped it a lap earlier. Let's see how he gets on, negotiates a little bit better this time, throws it in on the right hand side. Careful not to run out too wide. It's Drugovic who's currently the fastest on track. Ollie Rowland in 4th place into the last couple of corners. Then he comes and through Club Corner, the last corner of this circuit. Where is Ramez Azam going to pop? His rival Ibrahim is 7th. He comes across the line to go into 7th place. So a really good job from Felipe Drugovic in pole position at the moment. Then Hauger pops into 2nd, and Frederick Vesti is 3rd place. Eduardo Barrichello is 5th. Dane, what we really like about this championship is we've got some star-studded names up here.
Yeah, definitely. Really talented drivers in this series from all over different disciplines of motorsport. We've got F3 drivers, we've got F4 drivers, we've got karters, we've got people in factory drives in GT series, and it's great to see all these drivers getting the hang of this Dallara F3 car. Some of them will be very familiar with the car. Obviously, regional F3 series around the world use this very popular model of Formula 3 car in their series. We can see some of the drivers making their way through their 2nd qualifying laps, and we've got just about 2 minutes left of the session, and the drivers are going to have about half a lap left of their final qualifying attempts.
There is Enzo Mucci, the organizer of this great event. Talked to him last week and saying that the simulator is becoming an even more integral part of the driver training programs. There's the gaps across the field, and you can kind of see how close it is. It's Drugovic on a 151.1, who's currently quickest on it. Richard Verschoor behind him, but just by a tenth of a second. Dennis Hauger is in third as Enzo goes completely off the road. I think he got a bit distracted there as he comes up towards Stoke Corner, puts it in the wall. Frederick Vesti just over 100 behind. Bortoletto is fifth, and then Barrichello. But it is Drugovic, the Formula 2 driver, who goes at 150.9. He goes even quicker, and he is now on pole position at the moment. Richard Verschoor second, and there is Richard Heisten in eighth, and Alfred Nilsson is ninth. Sasha Fenestra, the winner, is last week is in 11th. Ed Jones pops into third place, and Ramaz Azam finds the pace. He's second. Sasha Fenestra is third. Frederick Vesti pops into second, as loads of times come in now. Liam Lawson into fifth place. Richard Verschoor sixth, and Barrichello goes third. So a good lap from him, but a great job for Felipe Drugovic. He is on pole position for this one. Nilsson pops into seventh place, and Dino Beganovic pops across the line to go into 26th. But Richard Verschoor pops in a lap there for second place. But look how close those drivers are, Dane. There's nearly a couple of hundred separating the top five.
Yeah, and the top 10 separated by just 0.3 of a second. It's really great to see all these drivers so close together. You can see on the left-hand side, top 14, just 0.5 separating the drivers. And we can see a couple of the drivers trying to finish their laps, but it doesn't look like they're going to be doing that. But the pole position driver, Formula 2, you don't get to Formula 2 without being a bit quick, and we're seeing that here today.
Yeah, for sure. So Formula 2 is on top in Formula 3. It's kind of funny, because Verschoor is Formula 3, Vesti is Formula 3. But now, of course, we have the two heat races where the field will be split in two, and we will see who's going to be on pole for this one. And we will head to the grid very shortly for this one. So we'll have a check very shortly who's going to be on the grid. It looks like Drugovic is going to be in this one. So I think it's going to be first, third, fifth, seventh, ninth in qualifying is going to be this one. So it's Vesti, Azam, Lawson, Jones, Collette, Payne, Bart Horston, Heisten and Nick Yellowly will be your top 10. Then Georgi Dimitrov, Seb Prio, Kimi Antonelli, Dino Beganovic, Mohamed Ibrahim down in 15th place. He is the championship leader, don't forget. He's a long way down. Jaden Conroy, Paul Aaron in 17th. Menezes in 18th. Mansell, Enzo Mucci, Baltas, Raul Hyman. And then O'Keefe and Peterson will be this first half with two heats to go. So there's a lot on the line here. Drugovic, he's got some really talented people behind him from so many different forms of motorsport. And we'll be getting underway for heat race one very, very shortly indeed as we wait for those lights. Frederick Vesti, Formula 3, aiming for the Formula 2 seat in the future, I would reckon, as we will head to the lights very, very shortly as we count down from 2 minutes, with Drugovic facing towards turn one. And Dane, who do you think is going to take this one?
Well, I'm not too sure about most of the drivers, but I have seen Frederick Vesti in this car in a couple of other races, and he is lightning in this car, obviously taking second place on the grid. I think he's going to be one to watch heading into turn 3. Obviously turn 1 and 2 is going to be flat out at the start, and we see the lights.
And here we go then, Felipe Drugovic facing towards turn number 1. Frederick Vesti alongside him as the 5 red lights come on, and the lights are out, and away we go. Good start. Frederick Vesti blocks Ramiz Azam towards turn 1, and then Liam Lawson up the inside of the background as he fights with Ed Jones for 4th place. But it's Drugovic who gets the jump off the line. Vesti, Azam, Lawson, Jones, Collette, Horston, Payne, Heisten, and then it looks like that's a 3-wide moment. Ramiz Azam looking up the inside as they run towards into the next part of the circuit. As he looks to go back past Liam Lawson here. Heisten, there's a couple of drivers around in the background there. There's a couple of cars involved in a bit of a shunt in the back there. There's front wings flying off in the back, but it looks like Drugovic is away out front.
Yeah, pieces of carbon fibre bodywork going all over the place. It looks like it was almost 5 wide as they came down the Wellington Straight for the first time. So we can see here Vesti really putting Drugovic under pressure as they come through Brooklands for the first time and down towards the old main straight from previous versions of this circuit towards Copse Corner. They're all running single file in the top 10. We'll see if anyone's going to make a move. Vesti just pokes the nose out, just lets him know that he's there, trying to force him wide. Man, it looks like he might have gone a bit too wide. Is he going to get a slowdown for that? I don't think he has.
Oh, it looks like he's got away with that one. As we carry on. It's still Drugovic from Vesti, from Lawson, from Azam, Ed Jones, Chow Colette, Bart Horston, Payne, Bison and Yellowly are the leaders at the moment. As we get on board with Chow Colette looking up the inside. Azam is going, and it looks like Lawson's got to slow down as they come down the hanger straight. He's going to lose a ton of places. He goes down to 11th place as they head through Stowe for the first time, and he gets through to 5th place. He fights off Bart Horston in the background, but a problem for Liam Lawson has dropped him all the way down. Further down, there's a little cars going 3 abreast nearly in the background, but it looks like it's even more of a problem. Lawson looks like he is out of this race.
So he's picked up some damage, maybe from some contact with another car. There's not really anywhere else you can get damage. And through Stowe corners, we can see them going side by side into turn number 1. Ed Jones ahead of Collett there. And they're going to go side by side to turn 3 on the outside. It's not going to work from this time. Is he going to get the cut back? No, he's not. Is he going to go through the move into the loop? He's not. He's going to wait this time. And he's going to try and wait until maybe move at Brooklands, but he's gone wide, and that's compromised his exit massively. He's not going to be able to make a move. We can see just behind here the battle for 5th position. We've got Matthew Payne and Horston. They're going to go side by side down the straight as well.
In the background, I think that looked like Mansell and Aaron going for it in 10th place. But look at this, is Matthew Payne going all the way around the outside of the field corner up the inside of Bart Horston. If he can make that stick, that'll be a great move. And Matthew Payne looks like he's got that done, and he gets around the outside and he heads now towards Copps corner. Bart Horston now going to go around the outside of Copps. It's a really tricky place to make this work. Surely he's not going to be able to do that there. No, it's Matthew Payne holds on for that one. A great move and a great battle.
It's a fantastic move into the Brooklands corner. Reminded me of a move made last season in British F4 that I recalled. We can see another F4 driver here. We've got Paul Aaron, and almost contact in Maggots. Into Maggots. It doesn't look like he's got too much damage, maybe a bit to the front right hand side of his wing there. That's not going to impede him too much. What would impede him more is the suspension damage. He's going to probably get a slowdown for that as well, unfortunately. He did cut quite a lot of that corner, and you can see he's dropping back at the back of the screen. But then we can see here we've got Hyman, and just ahead of him is a 3-way battle into Copps. We've got lots of smoke.
Yeah, it's a spinner, big accident, Nick Yellowly. Nick Yellowly spinning in Stowe corner, and that's a big shunt for Nick Yellowly. And let's see if we can see that one again and see what happened, Dane.
Yeah, we're coming into Stowe corner here, and he just clips the grass on the inside, and it sent him around. Great evasion skills there, and then bang! Sent his car flying into the air. We see the new damage model in action. I saw his tyre actually heading down into the pit lane by itself.
Frederick Vesti, that he must have saw his life flash before his eyes there as he had to avoid the car of Nick Yellowly, but that puts Nick unfortunately out of this race. Mohammed Ibrahim making the move for 8th place in the background on, that'll be Mansell in the back, so he's up the inside. Mohammed Ibrahim, can he make it work? Stick it up the inside, and he does, and he goes through to 8th place, chasing down Frederick Vesti now. So Ibrahim started out in 15th place on the grid, remember, so he's trying to catch up to his championship rival, Ramez Azam, in 2nd place. And now you can see him going defensive, a bit of a weaving going on there as they head down towards Copps corner. Here comes Callum Mansell. Is he going to be able to go around the outside of Copps corner? He's going to have a think about it. He's going to go to the outside line. He's going to be able to sweep around the outside. Not quite, not going to be able to find the space. Now with the cutback towards Maggots and Beckett's, is he going to get the run? Watch out for Raoul Hyman in the background. The F3 racers in the background. Almost 3 abreast, but into Maggots and Beckett's around the outside. There's contact. Ibrahim's off, and that's Raoul Hyman going side by side through there as well. Look, a bit of neck cut there. Ibrahim's back on the circuit, but the front left is gone, and the championship is slipping out of his hands. That is such a massive, crucial moment for this championship.
Championship leader by 11 points, and that's gone awfully for him as they go through Maggots. Beckett's just clipped from behind. You can see there on the left hand side that wheel is not attached to the car, and he can steer with his steering wheel. All he likes, that car is not turning, and he just in the end sticks it in the barriers, and he's retiring to pit lane.
Massive moment. Ramez Azam doesn't know his bag now. Lucas Dunner is in battle for the tail end of the points here. Lucas Dunner, Dino Bogdanovic on the back of him. Ido Cohen, and he spins in the last corner. Lucas Dunner has spun it in the last corner, and that lets Dino Bogdanovic and Ido Cohen to carry on for 12th place. So just a small error from Dunner there, but Ido Cohen makes his way through. There's a car off in the back. That's the Raoul Hyman spinning in turn 1. That's the car of Raoul Hyman, who is just embroiled in a battle with with another car there, but he's just dropped it by himself, it looks like. Didn't quite see what happened there, but he's carried on, and he spun it again in the back. Now, there's obviously a problem with that car, possibly suspension damage, Dame, and he's out of this race.
Yeah, two pretty crucial incidents there. It looks like the suspension damage has caused him to retire. It looks like normally when a car spins out like that, it's very uncharacteristic of this car to just spin out like that. As you see your leader, he's built up quite a bit of a gap to Azam in second place as he comes through Maggots and Beckett's. But that first incident at Club Corner, looked like there might have been some contact there. Bit of net code maybe, but definitely didn't look like a spin from Dunner.
Yeah, possibly could have been a little bit of... he could have got a little tap in the back from the car behind, but there's your top four. Felipe Drugovich, Ramez Azam, Ed Jones, and Chao Colette in shot right there. Bart Horsten a little ways further back. Frederick Vesti is sixth. Then Matthew Payne, Seb Prio, Callum Mansell, and Cruton has made up some good spots there to 10th place. So we carry on and we head on to what I believe is the final lap in this heat, as we now look at Vesti and Bart Horsten, who looks to me like he's missing a rear wing.
Yeah, he is. You're right. He is missing a rear wing, and like it's definitely going to cause him some problems. It's going to lose him a lot of rear aero and rear stability, and that's why he's so slow. And he's dropping back at a rapid pace, very loose. In turn 2 and into the turn 3, that was fantastic car control from him to keep that one going in a semi-straight line. You can see all the corrections he's having to make with the steering wheel there. It's fantastic from the man, but unfortunate for him, he's going to try and hold on the final lap of the first heat and try and limp around the track and see if he can hold on to a semi-decent finish here.
Yeah, let's see how he negotiates Brooklands here. Trying to keep the car in a straight line, just correcting, small correction. He goes wide, but it's probably smart to do that. He's going to have to try and hold off Matthew Payne behind him as well. Who's 1.7 seconds behind him. He's got a decent gap. He's just fighting the car through every single corner here. British F3 driver. Well, used to a Formula 3 car, obviously, but I don't think he's driven one without a rear wing on it. So there's Matthew Payne with Seb Prio up his inside towards Cops Corner, and he's got it done. Seb Prio moves to 7th. And let's see if he can catch up to Bart Horsten, because Bart obviously has no rear wing. So he might be able to maybe snatch 6th place here. It's all to do with championship points. So every little bit counts. Seb Prio chases down Bart Horsten as he goes wide. He loses the rear end and he goes straight on at Chapel. That's going to give him 6th place and maybe give Matthew Payne a position as well as Cruton, who's in 9th as well. These guys have all bunched up together on this last lap here. You can see Cruton having a look on Matthew Payne towards Stowe here, but back up to the front, Felipe Drugovich has driven flawlessly out front. He wins the first heat race, Formula 2 racer, he wins. Ramez Azam will cross the line in 2nd, and Ed Jones is 3rd. Chao Colette, Frederick Vesti, Seb Prio, Bart Horsten, he's still in 7th at the moment. Matthew Payne is gonna hold on for 8th. Bart Horsten, if he gets a top 10 finish with no rear wing on the car as he comes across the line, and it's gonna be very close as they come across the line, but he manages to hold on. Matthew Payne, Cruton, Edo Cohen, and Callum Mansell, Dino Beganovic, Georgi Dimitrov, Goran Lucas Dunner, Paul Aaron, Enzo Mucci, and Menezes. Of course, Nicky Ellerly, massive shunt earlier on. I think he's got the car going again, but of course we saw him facing the wrong way in Stowe. But Dane, flawless drive from Felipe Drugovich out front.
It was a fantastic drive. He managed to build that gap up pretty early on in the race, and that's pretty crucial, especially in these short races. If you can build a gap up, there's not much time for the other drivers to try and build it or break it down, try and get into that crucial draft to make some overtakes. But he's done a fantastic race here. You can see Vesti as well, not having too much of a good race. He's down in 5th position. He started 2nd. It's a pretty poor race from his standards, losing 3 positions. Massive race from Nicholas Cruton, gaining 20.
Yeah, Nicholas Cruton, a great job from him to gain 20 places in this one. As we're just going to be getting ready for Heat 2 now very shortly. Just the last few stragglers crossing the line here. So just waiting for these. Kimi Antonelli crossing the line. 24th, FIA karting. So there's obviously loads of carders, Formula 3, regional F3 championships like British Formula 3, and so many others involved here as we're just getting ready now for Heat Race 2. So a totally different grid for this one. Let's see who's going to be ready for this one. I would imagine we'll get it very shortly, but we'll check when we get there. It's Richard for sure who's going to be on pole for this one, with Barrichello next to him, and Sasha Fenestres, the winner last week, in third place and second in the championship. Alfred Nilsson, Dennis Hauger in fifth, then Bortoleto, Crawford, Kasper Stuka in eighth, Verona in ninth, and James Pole in 10th, Callan Williams in 11th, Ollie Rowland, Indy Donche, Ollie Behrman, Cameron Das, and we're going to get ready either way. I don't have time to read the grid as the lights will come on now very shortly. Richard for sure on pole, Barrichello next to him, and Fenestres behind. Lights out, away we go. Good start for sure. Good start, Barrichello. And it's good start from the second row, third row from, I believe that's Dennis Hauger. He's up the inside for Alfred Nilsson, excuse me. That's up to third place. Great start from him. He jumps 2 already as they head towards someone. He's already looking to try and get past here. As now it's Fenestres having a look in the background as well. Alfred Nilsson's up the inside of Dennis Hauger. And there's a spinner in the background. It's Fenestres who spun it in the background. And he's already going to drop down the grid so that second place man of the championship is now has a total disaster as Richard for sure leads. There's even more contact in the back of Ollie Rowland, losing it on the curb there as they try to sort themselves out, but as they come down it's still for sure for Barrichello, and his spin again from, I think it was the car we were just on board. I think it's Ollie Rowland again. He spun it for the second time, but there's all stringing out front is for sure who still leads from Barrichello. Dennis Hauger has managed to retake the position off Alfred Nilsson, and Bortoleto in 5th.
It's a pretty chaotic start. We saw that spin early on from Fenestres, and he's second in the championship. So, we got a car spun here as well. De Groot in 26th position, and it might have been some contact. I saw some guys going onto the grass, and we've got Caballas as well, ex-Indy Pro 2000 driver. So we can see they're going side by side through Maggots and Beckett's 4nd position. Barrichello on the left-hand side of the screen, and it looks like Hauger has made himself up into 3rd position, and he's looking to get second as they come down the hangar straight.
To the inside he goes on Eduardo Barrichello. Also in the background, Bortoleto's up the inside of Nilsson. So Dennis Hauger makes it through to second place as he chases down Richard for sure. He's gone a tad wide. Barrichello has had to secede that position, as has Nilsson to Bortoleto. So they carry on after lap 1. A chaotic first lap as in the background Jack Crawford just trying to fight his way past as James Pole's now up the inside of him and through the last corner in club. He's had a fantastic start, James Pole, from 10th to 6th on lap 1, and you also see Verona in up the inside as well. There's a lot going on here on board with Nicholas Verona through turn 1. You can kind of see how chaotic it's getting as Jack Crawford gets left out to dry in turn 1, and you can just see James Pole on the inside trying to think about a move on him there. He's not quite going to be able to do that there. Side by side they go now. Verona makes it through on Jack Crawford, and now James Pole chasing after Alfred Nilsson. So it's classic Formula 3 racing, just a slipstream train right here. Now we'll see if Verona can make the move on James Pole down towards Brooklands. He's firmly in the slipstream here, and he gets a fence from James Pole. Late move as Brooklands. Here they come around the outside. Can Verona make it work around the outside towards Lovefield? Not quite going to be able to do it there as Pole just runs him out a little bit wide there. And you see Indy Donche and Kasper Stuka. Kasper Stuka's up the inside, in the background as they fight it out between them. So Kasper Stuka around the outside towards Kopp's corner. He's going to be able to make that stick. It's going to be quite tough as they head down towards, but the top 10 are in the total. Look at the squeeze from James Pole as they come down towards Kopp's corner. That was mental. So how has he got away with that one? I don't know how that didn't end in a crash.
Yeah, super defensive driving from Pole there. It's really annoying when a driver does that to you, and you get squeezed almost into the wall. It's very Schumacher-esque, but you can see that very close is Kasper Stuka. As they come towards the hangar straight, he's going to pull out, and he's got to slow down. He's cut the corner. It looks like he cut the corner on the inside of Chapel, and he's going to get a slow down. He's going to lose all of those positions he just worked so hard to gain.
Oh, and even more defensive up front as Verona has to fight off Donche, who's right behind him as they head down the hill then, as they carry on their way. Indy Donche trying to go around the outside of the last corner towards Club. He'll have the inside with the next part of the corner. Can he make it stick? Lovely move from Indy Donche. There's contact. There's wheel-to-wheel contact on the exit. Just losing his way. Callan Williams drives through the both of them. He spun it. Indy Donche does a full 360. They all spread out to avoid. They've somehow all avoided that one. Unbelievable driving from all these guys. They've managed to avoid a big instance as Kean Donaldson's around the outside of Verona into turn 1. That's a brave movement in the back, and you have Siebers up the inside as well to try to figure things out right here. He's not able to get that stop. Brandon Sieber trying to make his way through So there's so much going on. Ollie Caldwell, Kasper Stuka is trying to get back into this one as well. Sasha Fenestres is on a recovery drive. There he is. He's up the inside of Stuka. So it's Fenestres who spun in turn 2. He's back up to 13th place now. He's trying to fight it out, but Stuka has got a run on him. Fenestres defends down towards the next corner into Brooklands, and you just see another move from Verone back up the inside of Keane Donaldson. It gets run out wide to the Luffield corner. There's so much going on. We can hardly keep up here.
Loads of racing going on, lots of battles happening here, and we can see Das has jumped onto that train with Fenestres and Stuka as they're going side by side again as they come onto the old start-finish straight.
Here we go.
With Verone.
Yeah, and he's got it done. It's just the Cameron Das trying to get past, and he's going to try to get 2 in 1 there, but Fenestra's got back up underneath him again as the through Magnets Vegas they go again. Brandon Sieber trying to fend off Verona. He's just managed to get past him as Brandon Sieber. Keane Donaldson's now got a small gap ahead of him, as ahead of Callum Williams. He's managed to break away from this train as well. But up front is still Richard Verschoor, Dennis Hauger, Eduardo Barrichello, Bortoletto, Alfred Nilsson, James Pull, Jack Crawford, Callum Williams, Keane Donaldson, Brandon Sieber, Ollie Caldwell going side by side with Nicholas Verone, and he's up the inside. He gets it done. So Ollie Caldwell straight through, and he gets now trying to catch up to the next train. Kasper Stuka also trying to make the move on Verone there as well as they head down towards the last corner. Look on the outside, and not quite able to do it there. Cameron Das now in this one as well. Sasha Fenestres, Turney and Greenwood are also in this one as well. So there's plenty of cars involved. Look at the slipstreams Stuka's getting now towards turn 1. Dudley's not going to quite have the speed here. He gets right on him as they got this contact. He pushes him in the back, and Verone's around in turn 1. Can he keep it out of the barrier? Yes, he can. He gets it stopped, but that was a little bit of a punt in the back from Kasper Stuka there, and Verone gets it going again and rejoins straight in front of Ollie Rowland, who just manages to avoid that one. My lord, that was a roller coaster of events right there.
Yeah, Ollie Rowland did an absolutely fantastic job to avoid the car of Verone in front of him. It would have been pretty much blind as he came around turn number 2. So you can see they're going side by side into Brooklands here, and then very close together. That's Greenwood, and it's like Fraser as well to come around Luffield towards the old start finish straight. They're going to still be side by side. It's Betty Fraser on the outside.
See if he's able to make it stick Billy Fraser around the outside of Copps. So he shuts the door on Matt Greenwood and he gets it done into 16th. That's for a hard fight for 16th place. We're about to head on to the final lap of this heat, by the way. This isn't even the feature race, as Richard Verschoor is still in the lead. Dennis Hauger is second. Eduardo Barrichello is third. The top 3 have got a small gap over Gabriele Bortoletto, who's in 4th place. Alfred Nilsson is 5th. James Pull, Jack Crawford, Callum Williams, Keane Donaldson, Brandon Sieber are your top 10. So here we go on to the final lap. Can Dennis Hauger maybe mount a move here? Verschoor has managed to hold on very well so far as he starts the final lap. He's got a small gap of 0.6 of a second, but Barrichello's right there as well, and Bortoletto's kind of in a world of his own in 4th place. Alfred Nilsson has got James Pull right behind him as well. So here we go, Verschoor start the final lap. It was a personal best from Dennis Hauger that time around, and again from Barrichello. They all set personal best lap times behind. So let's see what the Norwegian can do. He's got to fend off Barrichello's right behind him as well. Let's see what he can do as they head down the back straight towards Brooklands. Barrichello looks like he might be the one to make a move here. He's right in the slipstream of Dennis Hauger here as they head down towards Brooklands corner. Can Barrichello do anything? He moves to the inside, he shows himself in the mirrors, but no move just yet. And he has to hang back. He has a little look again on the entry to Brooklands. Barrichello looking for a way through. Not quite able to find it just yet. Through Luffield they come then down towards and it's wide from Verschoor ahead. Verschoor runs wide on the exit right there, but he manages to keep it going. He got a little bit on the gravel there. That will affect his exit down towards Copps corner. But here comes Barrichello in the slipstream again. Can he get up alongside? No, he can't. But still Verschoor has enough of a gap to hold on for now. On board with Eduardo Barrichello as they head towards Maggots and Beckett's to see where they're going to start for the feature race. Through Maggots, through Beckett's. Then into Chapel will come on the right-hander on the exit. Barrichello needs the exit here. Has he got it? He runs a little touch wide right there, but he's not quite going to be able to do it. I think he might have to hold behind for this one. But here we go towards the last couple of corners. Can anybody mount any sort of move? The top 3 are nose to tail as they head towards Stowe. I think Verschoor might just be able to hold on, barring any mistakes from him. Through Stowe he comes for the last time in the heat race and down towards Club. Is he going to be able to hold on? I think he should be able to as Harger chases him down. He's really putting it on him. Here's the head towards the last corner. I think he might just have just enough to hold on right here as they come to the last corner. Richard for sure wins heat race 2. Dennis Harger is second, and Barry Kello holds on for third. It's Gabriele Bortoleto, Alfred Nilsson, James Pull, Jack Crawford, Callan Williams, Brandon Sieber, Casper Stuka, Cameron Das, Sasha Fenestres, then Ollie Caldwell, Matt Greenwood, and we just look at Jorge Cavalos as Verone. Just has to settle for 19th place behind Ollie Rowland. And there, Jorge Cavalos with Stefan de Groot behind him in 21st. And Hancock in 22nd with a couple of lapped cars still to come across the line. But Dane, wow, that was pretty intense race right there.
It was non-stop action, wasn't it, throughout the entirety of the second heat. A very short 5-lap race, proving to be a fantastic for this race, for the racing that we've seen. And we can see the last few drivers coming down the Wellington straight. He runs a bit wide, he's going to get a slowdown for that one as well. You can see him going very slowly. We're going to have to wait for Denner to finish before we can move on to the feature. But if the racing in the feature is anything like it has been in the first 2 heats, it's going to be an absolute spectacle.
Yeah, exactly. We had 5-lap heats, of course, but straight into the feature race, which gives us 10 laps of that, hopefully. So we will see how the guys are going to negotiate. It's just Emilien Denner is going to be the last car to cross the line, I think, in the Formula Renault driver. Cross the line 27th. And that should be it before we head to the feature race. 22 minutes or 10 laps, whichever comes before, but I would reckon the 10 laps will be first. So I don't think we have a warm-up. We're straight into gridding up. And we'll have a look. So here we go. This is going to be brilliant. Felipe Drugovich on pole position. Richard Verschoor second. Ramiz Azam in third place, looking to take that championship lead. Dennis Hauger fourth. Ed Jones fifth. Eduardo Barrichello in sixth. Chao Colette. Gabriele Bortoleto is eighth. Frederick Vesti is ninth. And Alfred Nilsson in 10th. 3 Brazilians all together on the grid right there. Seb Prio 11th. James Pohl, Bart Horston, Jack Crawford, Matthew Payne, Callan Williams, Nicholas Crutzen, Brandon Siebert, Ido Cohen, Kasper Stuka, Callum Mansell, and then Cameron Das, Dino Beganovic, and Sasha Fenestres will be 24th on the grid. But this is going to be fantastic, Dane. I don't know who to call to win.
Yeah, me neither. It's loads of drivers on the grid for this one. It seems like we got in the better part of 45 drivers gridded up so far, and I think that's going to be it for them. We've got all the way down to Billy Munger at the end of the grid, but we can see the lights.
Here we go. Felipe Drugovich away from the line. They go. Good start from one of the cars in the background. He gets mega getaway in the background, but it's Felipe Drugovich who gets a good start. For sure behind. Ramiz Azam third. Barrichello fourth. Hauger fifth. Ed Jones sixth. The Chocolate. Now it's a good run from Verschoor towards turn 2. He's going to be able to go around the outside of Felipe Drugovich here as they all file through nice and neat and tidy as they come through turn 3, turn 4 now. And it's Verschoor Azam. Barrichello's the car around. Who's that? It's Ramiz Azam. It's the championship guy in second place in the championship has spun it. And now he's all the way down to 28th place. The 3 championship contenders have all had absolute disasters in all of these races so far. But as we go back to the front, just having a look as well in the background, one of the Red Bull cars up the inside, Dennis Hauger for 4th place. And they all file through. They all go white chocolate into the back of another car. There's a massive crash in the background. Trying to see who that is. That looks like James Pull is around. Chocolate. And it looks like Alfred Nilsson could also be involved in that one. There's a huge wreck in the back as they file through. But unfortunately for them, their day is over. But it's Drugovich, Verschoor, Barrichello, Dennis Hauger, and Frederick Vesti who's coming through. There's a more contact, big accident in the background. That looks like Ed Jones, who's gone straight off. He's been punted in the rear, I think, as they come through Cobb's Corner. Big crash right there for those guys. And looks like Bortoleto was involved in that one there. And he tried to make positions back, but it's Drugovich, Verschoor, and Barrichello after another chaotic start here.
It was absolutely chaotic start. We had a really big incident into Brooklands. There were so many drivers involved in that one. I think I counted 7. And then obviously down into Cobbs there was a big one as well. But we can still see Drugovich leading this race, but he's got Verschoor right on the rear of that car, just 4 tenths separating them. And then Barrichello 6 tenths behind Verschoor as they come in towards Club. No one's going to be making moves. They're side by side further back in the pack. And we see some drivers heading into the pit lane, but this is Aaron. And we can see them almost 3 wide as they come through Club for the first time in this 12 or 10 lap race, I should say, is they're still side by side on the exit. Oh, there's a bit of contact between them. Nothing too major, but we can see all of these drivers, they're going to come too wide again. But it looks like he's managed to make the move stick. We can still see more drivers going too wide in towards turn number 3. And they're going 3 wide on exit, even a car almost loses it behind.
Oh, Dunner gets into the side of Cameron Das right there on the outside, so it was brilliant racing up to then, just a little bit of wheel-on-wheel contact that sends him around, but now Cameron Das has got to defend, for Jonathan Hoggard is on a charge as well. He's trying to come around the outside, and he's also got Matt Greenwood right there, he's trying to come around his outside as well. So Jonathan Hoggard goes through, Cameron Das goes through, and gets overtaken by Jonathan Hoggard, and Cameron Das, Matt Greenwood. So it is now back to the front because Barrichello was under severe pressure from Dennis Hauger. So the top 2 have broken away. And now also on the back of these is Frederick Vesti, the Dane, in 5th place. Now at the back of the Norwegians, they've run through Maggots and Beckett for the 2nd time. Gets right on the back of Hauger as they come through. He almost gets into the back of him. Hauger runs a bit deep now towards Chapel. He might get a run here, Vesti, on the exit. So Barrichello pulled away a little bit there. Here comes now Frederick Vesti for 4th place on Dennis Hauger. Can he make this work as they head towards the big defensive move from Dennis Hauger as they kind of come up the inside now. Vesti around the outside. Can he make it work? No, he can't. A big defensive move from Dennis Hauger. Now he's going to go wide on the exit of Stowe Corner, but he manages to hold on for that one. Wow, this is really, really intense racing.
It's reminiscent of that of Sebastian Vettel, Max Verstappen, even the same coloured cars. We've got a red ball in front and a red car in the background. And it's really fantastic racing as they're going to come towards turn 1. You can see the slipstream working as he closes in the number 46 car, taking much more curb on the entries right up the back of him. He's going to make a move down the inside of the turn number 3. Yes, he is. And it looks like he's made the move stick, and there's more contact.
Oh, Vesti goes around. They came to blows between Hauger and Vesti came off worse. He rejoins in 9th place behind Paul Aaron and almost spins it on the exit there. And is he gonna retire the car? He's stopped on track and he's out of this race. Frederick Vesti is out of this race. Back here though, as we look at Matthew Payne and Callan Williams fighting it out, and Williams trying to go around the outside into Brooklands. Not quite going to be able to do that there. So it looks like he's going to be able to hold on. For now is Matthew Payne, but that promotes them all up in position. Frederick Vesti out of this race after contact with Dennis Hauger. Unbelievable. And now it's still Drugovic for sure, Barrichello, Hauger, but up front, look at this, for sure versus Drugovic, Formula 2 versus Formula 3. This is what we want to see.
Closing in as they come through Maggots and Beckett's now. You can see how the gap is decreasing between them. Just about 2 tenths. He's going to try and get a better exit out of Chapel Corner, and it looks like he might have just got about the same, but he's going to get the slipstream now as they come down the hanger straight towards Stowe Corner. He doesn't look like he's close enough to make a move. It's still defensive from Drugovic. He's going to try and get the cut back maybe and make a move into the chicane at Club. But he's not going to get the best exit. Is he going to make a dive? You can see him just behind Drugovic there for sure, and he's going to stick behind him for now. His next best move is going to be into turn 3. Trying to use the slipstream from the start finish straight. He's got a pretty decent exit out of Club Corner. You can see he's right behind him.
Oh, Brandon Stever around at Stowe. Keeps himself out of the way. That's not a great place to lose it. We saw a couple of cars do that today now. Losing it on the exit, on the entry to Stowe Corner. And just in the background, that's Gore trying to come up the inside there. But now, this is Liam Lawson in 11th place. He's had a good run. Just coming through, look at this. Jonathan Hoggard trying to fend off a load of cars. Ido Cohen, Billy Fraser, and Wells in the back as well. Is Ido Cohen up the inside. Billy Fraser, how did they not make contact there? Brilliant racing. Billy Fraser's up the inside now for this next part of the corner. Ido Cohen still on the outside though on the exit. There's a little bit of contact and round goes Wells. Wells is around on the exit and he unfortunately loses out in that one, but Billy Fraser gains a place. And Ido Cohen trying to come back at him now, down towards Brooklands. Can he go around the outside? We've seen plenty try it. Not many have pulled it off, and not quite able to do that later on the brakes from Billy Fraser. And now Ollie Rowland's in this one. Indy Donche in 16th, and Mohamed Ibrahim is in 17th. The championship leader, don't forget. And all of his championship rivals have had terrible days so far. He's back up to 17th, keeping his nose clean, and he carries on his way.
Yeah, some fantastic racing there. We saw him just lose the rear end slightly, and that's caused Wells to move out, but we can see our championship leader for now, Mohammed Ibrahim, in 17th position, and his championship rival is nowhere to be seen. Obviously, with that incident earlier on in the race, you can see Fenestrez there down in 24th position. We can see they're going almost side by side into Maggots and Beckett's, and they're further side by side. He's lost the rear end slightly through there. That's a very hair-raising moment for him. We can see they're still going side by side now. It's Wells, who we saw with that contact earlier on in this lap, and it looks like Gore's just gone right past him. He's going to have Horston behind him now as they come through Stowe side by side. Horston makes a move down the inside, and he's got that move done very early before they even turn in for the corner, and looks like Wells has no defense there. He's got a bit of damage to the front right. Is he going to make a move? No, he's not.
So he holds on, Bart Horston goes through. But yeah, Mohammed Ibrahim is in 17th, and his championship rival, of course, is Sasha Fenestres. He's up to 16th now as he fights with Indy Donche. He's right in this fight, and he goes for the inside. Big dive bomb from Mohammed Ibrahim on Indy Donche. Can he get it stopped? Donche is still up the inside of the next part of the corner, so Ibrahim's going to have to secede that position. A good effort, though, but he might have another go down the hanger straight here. He's got Ollie Rowland behind him as well, who's close up to these guys. But Mohammed Ibrahim, championship rival with Sasha Fenestres and Ramaz Azam, who are tied on points behind him. So there's a big gap between them. Here comes Mohammed Ibrahim with second try down into Brooklands, up the inside, gets it stopped, gets it turned in. Donche comes back around the outside into Luffield, though, but he just manages to hold on. Might be able to get a cutback though. Now Ollie Rowland trying to get up underneath as well, Formula E driver, trying to get himself involved in this one. But here he comes, but Indy Donche trying to come back up. Ibrahim, who defends immediately down towards Cop's corner. Rowland sticks behind for now. And they come through nose to tail, but it's still Drugovic for sure. Barrichello, your top three. Drugovic extended the gap that time. He set the fastest lap of the race last time out. And you can see they're evenly spaced out now, so about a second and a bit between each of them. Drugovic for sure, Barrichello and Hauger. Callum Williams is fifth. Matthew Payne, Paul Aron, Kasper Stuka, Nicholas Verone, and Georgi Dimitrov are top 10. So Drugovic now about to start lap 6 of 10. And Ibrahim makes up another position to 14th, so he's siding through this field, trying to gain points wherever he can. Checking the lap times this time by. Personal best from Barrichello, but nowhere near. It's a problem for Paul Aron, who spins it in the last corner. Let's see if we can see what happened here, Dane.
You can see he's coming out of Stowe. He hasn't lost it there. It looks like he lost it coming in towards Club Chicane. As he comes through the chicane, he's just lost it right there. That looks like maybe overheated tyres from somewhere earlier in the lap. Oh, and drivers did very well to miss that one.
Yep, so that's Paul Aron dropping down to 11th place. Liam Lawson gains a spot on him there. And now Ido Cohen and Indy Donche fighting it out. So these guys trying to sort themselves out. Donche's up the inside, Cohen's round the outside. Now side by side down the back straight. So you're going to be able to sort it out down towards Brooklyn. So Cohen's going to have to go around the outside. He's on the outside line. He gives Donche the squeeze down towards Brooklands on lap 6 of 10. Cohen around the outside, and he stick it? No, Donche is up the inside. He might run a tad wide, which he loses the rear end of the way in. Now Cohen, can he go all the way around the outside? It's very tricky to make it work here. Donche holds on for now, though. But now Cohen will have the slipstream. He's already looking up the inside. He's found that inside line. He's found space on the inside, down towards Cop's corner. Can he get it up the inside here? Going to be interesting to find out. He's going to be up the inside. I think he's going to be able to make it stick this time. Yes, he does make it stick, and they go through. And also in the background, you've got Harry Tinknell and Ollie Rowland fighting it out in the back as well. Tinknell's gained a spot on him. Here comes Ollie Rowland on the outside towards Maggots and Beckett. Has he found the space? Yes, he has, around the outside of this next part of the corner in towards Beckett. Yes, he makes it stick. A lovely move from Ollie Rowland, and he gets it done. And up ahead, you also see Cohen has made the move on Donche up ahead as well. So Ollie Rowland with a lovely move through Maggots and Beckett, and also a great one from Ido Cohen as well. Great racing.
2 moves through Maggots and Beckett's. It's very rare you see that, and we've seen it twice. It's absolutely fantastic to see a fantastic move from Ollie Rowland there on the outside, and then which became the inside on Tinknell there. You can see he's going to try and close on to the back of this fight between Donche and Cohen, and Donche's going to go down the inside. Cohen has got the now inside for Club, and it looks like Ollie Rowland's going to try and make it 3 wide as they come through Club. Oh, it's a big wreck!
Oh no, they didn't have to do that 3 wide into the last corner, and they all crash. Indy Donche and unbelievable. I can't believe they tried to make it 3 wide to that last corner. That was never going between those guys. And now Donche is the only one who survives that one. And up O'Keefe goes up the inside. Just such a shame that we're having such a fantastic race. Ido Cohen, Ollie Rowland. And oh, now Indy Donche gets punted from the rear. And it's all gone from bad to worse for all those guys. We're having such a fantastic fight down there. And it's all gone wrong. Ollie Rowland and a number of other guys involved. Such a shame.
Yeah, I can only think that Ollie Rowland and Dante didn't know that there were 3 wide there. I don't think Ollie Rowland saw the car on the far outside. I don't think he would have made that move if he had known that there was still a car on the outside of the car he was trying to overtake. Then it really wasn't the best idea. I really hope that that's what's happened, because 3 wide into the last apex of club is not a good idea, and we've just seen why. As we can see Liam Lawson here, the FIA F3 driver. He's running in a solid 10th position. He's come onto the back of Dimitrov, the Hungarian driver in front of him. He's going to go hard on the defensive down the Wellington straight, or the Hangar straight, should I say. Trying to break that slipstream. He's going to come through Stone now. Is he going to get a good exit? It looks like he might have. He's not going to be close enough for moving to club here unless he's exceptionally brave. You can see how close he's getting into the apex of the first left, and now into the double apex right-hander with that awful red sausage curve on the left-hand side that really is tempting to try and run as far wide as you can, but not when that curve is there. It's going to wreck your car to pieces, as we saw in Heat 2. See how close Lawson is now. Is he going to come through turn 3? Dimitrov takes the inside defensive line.
Oh, Lawson around the outside. A lovely move. He can stick it. Dimitrov still on the outside, but Liam Lawson take drive into turn 2. Gets it stuck around the outside and into 9th place. So really good driving. Now can Dimitrov come back and look at the defense for Liam Lawson. Right to the grass on the inside down towards Brooklands. Can Dimitrov come back around the outside? Not quite. So showing his experience there, Liam Lawson versus the karting. Paul Aaron now latching onto the back of them as well in 11th. So Lawson goes through and up ahead. Is that Baroni and Stuka side by side up there, just a further way? And that would look like it was a problem for, it was a lapped car of Menezes, sorry, going through there. So down in 29th. So he lets Verone through. And Dimitrov trying to come back at Lawson. Now they're having a great fight, these two. British karting versus FIA Formula 3. Nowhere else would you get that, having them in the same car. But Lawson has it for now. We'll see if Dimitrov can get the exit through Maggots and Beckett's, but Lawson is so fast through there. And coming through they go. And looks like Dimitrov may have a run. And looks like just up further, looks like there's a problem for Callan Williams. Yeah, it looks like a slowdown for Callan Williams as he loses more places down the Hangar straight. And Lawson has managed to hold on. But yeah, slow down for Callan Williams. Puts Matthew Payne into 5th place and Kasper Stuka to 6th place now. And Felipe Drugovic still in the lead on lap 9 of 10. And he's checked out front. He's now so far ahead. So for sure ahead of Barrichello in the back. Then Hauger, Payne, Stuka, Veroni, Williams, Liam Lawson and Georgi Dimitrov. There is for sure and Barrichello, who were together in the heat race 2. So for sure the winner. And now he's in 2nd place in this one. But we're on course to have our 3rd different winner in 3 different feature races. It looks brilliant on paper. It's Barrichello. Can he do anything to get past Richard for sure here? Experienced Formula 3 racer and US Formula 2000 here. And Dane, we always like to go on about, we just love to see so many different forms of motorsport going up against each other here.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of the only times you really see this. It's maybe the Race of Champions that happens every year. It's the only other time you really see so many drivers from different disciplines of motorsport racing against each other on an equal field as we're seeing now today. As we can see, I don't know if he's going to be able to make a move on for sure in the next 2 laps. He's got almost a second between the 2 drivers, about 7/10 of a second between them. And it's not really close enough to make anything useful out of the slipstream. He's going to have to try and catch him as they come down towards Stowe for the penultimate time.
Yep, so we're about to go on to the final lap in this one. Felipe Drugovic has just dominated out front and he leads FIA Formula 2. It's his first race in the championship as well. So it's a great debut as he now, the white flag will wave for lap 10. So your top 10, Felipe Drugovic across the line for the white flag. Richard for sure is 2nd. Barrichello is 3rd. Dennis Hauger 4th. Matthew Payne in 5th. Kasper Stuka in 6th. Nicholas Verone 7th. Callan Williams, Liam Lawson and Georgi Dimitrov. Then just outside that, Paul Aron, Jonathan Hoggard, and Mohamed Ibrahim has gained up to 13th place. Back to this little battle for 17th as Bart Horston has got to try and fend off Brandon Siebers, trying to come around this outside, and he gets it done even before the corner's even there. So through he goes, and Brandon Sieber up to 17th place as they carry on to start their final lap. And it has not been a good day for the championship leaders, but Mohamed Ibrahim is up there, and Sasha Fenestras has also managed to claw his way back to 15th place. So they've all managed to come through. There is Fenestras, the winner last week, and he is 15th, 2 places behind Ibrahim, who will still have a small gain, but there is no sign of Ramiz Azam, who's had an absolutely torrid day. So it's been an awful time for him as they now begin the final lap. And Ibrahim on 66 points, the other two on 33, and that's Christian Mansell up the inside, a little bit of punt in the rear from Bart Horston, who has now got a rear wing on his car, which is a sight better than we saw him in the last heat race. But he carries on, and Drugovic approaches the last couple of corners here. Here we go, and you can just see in the background for sure, just making sure Barrichello doesn't try anything. In through the last couple of corners, a dominant display from the FIA Formula 2 driver Felipe Drugovic, Richard Versure FIA Formula 3, and US Formula 2000 driver Eduardo Barrichello. Here we go, through the last couple of corners, Felipe Drugovic, dominant display, nobody could touch him. Through the last corner, Felipe Drugovic of FIA Formula 2 wins in Silverstone. Richard Versure finishes in second, and Eduardo Barrichello gets his first podium in third place. Dennis Hauger is fourth, then Matthew Payne will cross the line in fifth place. Kasper Stuka in sixth, Nicholas Varone, Callum Williams, Liam Lawson, and Georgi Dimitrov. And Dane, Drugovic was completely untouchable there.
Yeah, that was an absolutely dominant performance by Drugovic, leading the entire race from start to finish. We can still see some battles happening further back in the field. I'm not sure if that was maybe a lapped car involved behind, but there was a couple of drivers going very close together. We can see Matt Greenwood coming through. Now we've also got Sieber and Mansell behind him, who are very close to come towards the line, but it's going to be Sieber who is the winner of this battle. So we can see just the last few drivers crossing the line. There's a massive grid in this race. You can still see all the drivers on the left-hand side that haven't finished the race.
Yeah, for sure. So Nagato will be the next cross the line, then Enzo Mucci, Dan Wells, Stefan de Groot and Jorge Cavalos behind. There is Enzo, the organizer, crossed the line for 21st. Not a bad job considering the size of the field. He crossed the line, then Dan Wells behind him, and Jorge Cavalos will be next in 24th. So a great day out for these guys. And Drugovic, a new winner. Here's Kimi Antonelli, who's just crossed the line there. And James Pohl, of course, a lot of these guys involved in a really early incident on lap 1, which wiped out the field, especially like Alfred Nilsson, who would have been way further. He started way further up the field. James Pohl as well involved in that scuffle at Brooklands. And that is the feature race over for today. And another brilliant day of action, Dane, I must say.
Yeah, it was a really action-packed this third round of the April Isolation F3 Championship, and we can see the results here.
So, Felipe Drugovic, his first win in the championship, he wins ahead of Richard Shore in second, Eduardo Barrichello in third. It was his first podium. Dennis Hauger fourth, Matthew Payne and Kasper Stuka fifth and sixth, Nicholas Varone in seventh, Callum Williams, Liam Lawson, Georgi Dimitrov, then Paul Aron, Jonathan Hoggard, Mohamed Ibrahim, the championship leader, finishes 13th. Billy Fraser 14th. Second place man in the championship, Sasha Fenestras in 15th. Matt Greenwood 16th. Brandon Sieber 17th. And Christian Mansell in 18th place, 49 seconds off the leader. So, yeah, great drive from Drugovic there. Further down the order, Bart Horston, Callum Nagatua, Enzo Mucci, Stefan de Groot, Jorge Cavalos, then Ollie Caldwell, Dan Wells, Alfred Nilsson, who we saw facing the wrong way and involved in a massive shunt in Brooklands in the early part of the race. Then Gustavo Menezes and Kimi Antonelli 28th. And then further down, Emilian Denner, James Pohl also involved in that one, Callan O'Keefe, Harry Tinknell, Gabriel Bortoletto, Dev Gore, Indy Doncia as well involved in the big one, Joe Turney, Ollie Rowland we saw involved in the big one as well, Cameron Dast classified as 38th. Then further down, Edo Cohen, Seb Prio, Ramez Azam is classified as 41st. Frederick Vesti we saw retire. Nicholas Crutzen, Lucas Dunner, Yves Baltas, Ed Jones we saw in the barrier at Cop's Corner. Raul Hyman, Chow Collette as well involved in the lap 1 instant. He's classified as 48th. Then Jack Crawford, Dino Boganovic, Ollie Behrman, Billy Monger, unfortunate non-finish for him, Ollie Hancock, Nick Ellerly, Lucas Peterson, Richard Heiston, Jaden Conright, and Jack Hawksworth. 58 car, unbelievable size of the grid, I must say. So championship standings before we came in was Mohamed Ibrahim on 44 points and Sasha Finestres on 33, but it looks like it's a non-scoring for either of those guys, so the championship should stay the same, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, Dana, really not a good day for the championship guys.
Yeah, definitely. They really had a couple of poor and unlucky performances rather than poor performances. We see the championship leader in 13th and his main rivals in 15th. And the other one all the way down in 40th position, classified at the end of the feature race, which is unfortunate. We would have liked to see the championship drivers battling it out on the track, but we saw some fantastic battles between pretty much every single driver on the grid at some stage today, which is great to see.
Yeah, it's what we always like to see, and of course we now have, and we're obviously heading to the next round very shortly, on Thursday, I think. I hope I'm not mixing my days up, but we're heading there very shortly, and a very different track on the cards for that one. But yeah, so 3 different winners. We have the statistics of 3 different winners in 3 different feature races. Ramez Azam in round 1. Last week it was Sasha Finestres, and then today it was Felipe Drugovich. So actually, believe it or not, Mohamed Ibrahim is in the lead of the championship without winning a single feature race. So he's not done a bad job so far. We'll have to see how the championship standings come after that one. We don't have anybody waiting for interviews, so I think, unfortunately, Dane, I think we're going to have to round it off here. So thank you all so much for joining us here on Apex Racing TV. Actually, we might have interviews very shortly. We'll have to see who we'll have, but we'll see who we can get in very shortly. So let's grab who we can and just wait and see who we can grab. Hopefully, we can grab our top 3 of Drugovich, Versure, and Barrichello. It'd be nice to grab Barrichello. But at the moment, we're just waiting to see. Yeah, we'll just grab who we can. Right, we'll grab in Mr. Organizer, Enzo Mucci. Enzo, welcome to the commentary box. A bit of a crazy one out there, but you managed to drive through 20th out of a 58-man grid, so not a bad job from yourself.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yes, we can. We got you.
Oh, right, I just lost you then.
Right, we'll go again. So a 58 car grid in this one when you managed to drive through. It's not a bad job from yourself.
Yeah, sorry. Anyway, it was I hit Yellowly quite hard in race 1, so they had to completely abandon that. Again, a glory himself, but I think it's a case of you just have to get through. Really, there's going to be a lot. You start to kind of get carried away in a battle, then then you get carried away, and you're not finishing. So it is different.
Yeah. So of course we've got we're heading to I can't exactly remember the track that we're heading to next off the top of my head, but are you looking forward to the next one? Do you think you can better the result from last time?
Without having drive-throughs, it should be okay. Now, I don't think I'm obviously quick enough for the top boys. I mean, if everything and everything goes well, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. I think it'll be and give everybody something to watch for before we go to Road Atlanta, which again will be completely. Take this moment Which welcome to the championship. It's his first race and a nice win as well by the looks.
Yeah, it was a pretty dominant display from Drogovic today. But yeah, so we look forward to Road Atlanta on next time by. So thanks for joining us, Enzo, and we'll hopefully see you next time out.
Can't hear you very well. Thank you.
Right, so we apologise for the mic issues if they did come across. We couldn't really make out what Enzo was saying there. Seems to be happy with how things went, Dane.
Yeah, and understandably so. He's got a massive grid of drivers, which is great to see, especially for such a young sort of invitational championship such as the April Isolation League. Next week, the next round is going to be at Road America, if I can recall correctly, which is a pretty good track for these cars. There's lots of long straights there, so slipstreaming should be pretty easy and lots of overtaking opportunities, so we can see some fantastic racing like we've seen today.
Yeah, for sure. So he talked last week about how Barber was kind of the joker out of the whole lot. That was a totally different circuit. He wanted kind of very open type circuit. So we've certainly got that one coming up very shortly. But yeah, so I think that's going to do it from us for today. We've got nobody else waiting for interviews, so I think we'll have to wrap up here. So thank you all for joining us here on Apex Racing TV. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to keep up with all the action from the Isolation April F3 Championship and all the other championships that are currently ongoing. Myself, Jack Canan, Dane Baird, thanks for joining me in the commentary box. Thanks to Sam Willie, as always, for working hard on the cameras. And we will see you next time out for the next round of the Isolation April F3 Championship. Thank you, and good night.